Can everybody be seated, please? Good afternoon and welcome back. I am Chair Gina Mackey, and this is the meeting of the Laughlin Town Advisory Board at the Laughlin Regional Government Center located at 101 Civic Way in Laughlin. Today is November 10th and the time is 1:30. Just a note, social distancing will be practiced during this meeting. You will be asked to keep appropriate spacing 6 feet away from other meeting attendees. Items on the agenda may be taken out of order. The board may combine 2 or more agenda items for consideration, and the board may remove an item from the agenda or delay discussion relating to an item at any time. No action may be taken on any matter not listed on the posted agenda. All planning and zoning matters heard at this meeting are forwarded to the Board of County Commissioners Zoning Commission, BCC, or the Clark County Planning Commission, PC, for final action. Please turn off or mute all cell phones and other electronic devices. And please take all private conversation outside the room. With a 48-hour advance request, a sign language interpreter or other reasonable efforts to assist and accommodate persons with physical disabilities may be available by calling area code 702-455-3530 or telecommunications device for the deaf at 702-385-7486 or Relay Nevada toll-free 800-326-6868. Supporting material provided to the board members for this meeting may be requested from Tammy Harris by calling 702-298-0828 and will be available on the county's website at www.clarkcountynv.gov. Today we have board members: Gina Mackey, Chairperson; Kathy Oakes, Vice Chairperson; James Maniaci, Niall Smith, and Herman Walker. Secretary is Tammy Harris, and the county liaison is Mark Robledo. So we'll get on to number 1. It's call to order, invocation, and pledge of allegiance. Looks like we have a quorum. So Doug, thank you. Can you stand, please?
Lord God, we thank you for blessing us with this day, nice change of weather. We ask that you look over all of us, look over all of Laughlin. Bless the police department, the fire department, our school teachers, our board members today, that they make the best decisions. They're people that really care. And I know they always do the best they can for Laughlin. Just strengthen us all. Give us peace. Give us a new hope. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. And Mr. Maniaci, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Number 2, this is public comment. This is the period devoted to comments by the general public about items on this agenda. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on this agenda item. You will be afforded the opportunity to speak on an individual public hearing items at the time they are presented. If you wish to speak to the board about items within its jurisdiction but not appearing on this agenda, you must wait until the comments by the general public period listed at the end of the agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium, clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any of the member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by chairperson or the board by majority vote. So line item number 3 is the approval of minutes for September 8th. Is anybody here to speak on number 2 here? Oh, I'm sorry. Come on, Jackie. I didn't have any of those cards that were submitted to me, so.
Hi, I'd like to, Jackie Mazzeo, M-A-Z-Z-E-O, President and CEO of the Laughlin Chamber and Laughlin Tourism Commission. I'd like to address items 7, 3, About the cancellation of the Laughlin Citizen of the Year. I understand your concerns. I know you can't respond to me. I understand your concerns about the proximity of people interviewing, those kind of things. We were able to interview over 67 individuals for the Community Achievement Awards this last month, come down to 4 finalists, and then have everyone present, 25 max in a room to accomplish our goal. I don't believe that canceling something just because there's COVID or you can't find in yourself to find another reason to make it happen is acceptable. I think that you need to work within the parameters that we're given, and I think that we need to find a different way to do it. I appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm sorry, I didn't get the little slips. Usually people provide me with those, so I was a little hasty there.
Point of order, Gina.
Yes?
I'm very hard of hearing, and I don't have my hearing aids because I lost one. But the people, when they speak, could they remove their mask? I really cannot hear.
I think they're safe up there.
Okay, yeah, we have distance there.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you for the note. Okay, moving on. Number 3 is the approval of the minutes for September 8th, 2020 for possible action. Any discussion?
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So motion carries 4-0. I noticed that we didn't have any minutes for October 10th, but that was due to the lack of a quorum, so the meeting was canceled. Moving on to number 4. Approval of the agenda for November 10th and hold, combine, or delete any items for possible action. Any discussion?
I move adoption of the agenda as presented.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. The approval of the agenda for November 10th, 2020. Number 5, moving on to informational items. Number 1 is receive a report from Lieutenant Jeff Hughes with Metro Police regarding activity and statistics during the past month and other area crime concerns for discussion only. Hi.
Hello, good afternoon. Trent, it's kind of loud.
You can take your mask.
All right. Hear me better now? Perfect. All right, looking back at October 2020, calls for service in Laughlin was 366, which is up about 15%. I took a look at it just to see if there's anything that contributed to that 50% growth, and there wasn't anything specific that would be attributed to it. It's just we had a busy month for calls for service. Looking at our traffic citations for Laughlin, 297. DUIs, we had 2 in Laughlin. Battery domestic violence arrests, 2 adults. Total bookings for Laughlin was 48 bookings. And juvenile citations were 2, and they were both for out-of-state visitors. Looking at our activity on Casino Drive, the top 3 casinos that generate most of our calls for service for the month of October in order was Riverside, Tropicana, and Aquarius. And then the apartment complexes in order of the top calls for service generating properties would be Riverwood, Crown Point, and Vista Creek. And then looking at our crime year to date, we are still down in our property crimes, about 18% down from the same time we were last year, which is pretty good because we still have had a couple spikes lately in our auto burglaries and our grand larceny autos. And of those 2 categories, it looks like mostly in the past month or 2, it's been on Casino Drive occurring. But we have made a couple of good arrests, and I'm hopeful that a couple of the arrests that we had that we can hold them accountable for some of the other ones that were right in that same area. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 2, under informational items, receive a report from Nevada Highway Patrol regarding activity and statistics during the last month and any public safety concerns for discussion only. Do we have anybody here? No. Number 3, receive a report from Clark County Fire Department regarding calls for service during the past month and other fire prevention issues for discussion only. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Battalion Chief Scott Straley, S-T-R-A-I-L-Y, and Captain Scott Taggart, T-A-G-G-A-R-D. For the month of October, Engine 76 had 18 calls. That's down 36% from last year. In medical calls, and they had 1 fire call for a total of 24 calls for the month. Rescue 76 had 97 medical calls, 1 fire call, and 6 other calls. On October 21st, I'm proud to say we put up Truck 76. That's why there's a significant decrease in Engine 76. And Truck 76 now is fully operational. It'll be the first 4-man apparatus out of Fire Station 76 now. And they'll run all fire and medical calls except down by Lake Mojave where they have to go off-road, or if they have to go up the hill towards Cal Navari, then they have to switch over to the engine and cross staff over to that unit because the truck just can't make it up the hill. So truck 76 ran 12 calls since they were inserted in service for medical calls, and 3 fire calls and 2 other calls. The 2 other calls, or example, would be like an elevator stuck where they need to go and assist with them. Watercraft 76, we didn't have any calls for the month of October. For the month, the units at Station 76 ran 145 calls compared to 162 calls. That's a decrease of 10%. With COVID, that's a very minor amount for as much business and tourism that we've lost over that period from last year. Station 85, they had 77 EMS calls for the month of October, 8 fire calls, and 10 other calls, for a total of 95 calls for the month. That's actually an increase of 9%. Right now, for the 2 4-man apparatus, Engine 85 is a little bit busier now because of the decrease in tourism down here in Casino. And 0 calls for Watercraft 85. For the year to date, there's a total of 2,328 fire and medical and other calls for all the Clark County Fire Department down here. That's a decrease of 188 calls, or minus 7%. One thing I wanted to add is with the buyout, we lost 8 personnel down here, and we've just finished training completely with them last week. And so we have 8 new captains, engineers, and firefighters that are tech rescue trained and boat operator trained. So we're up to a full staff again of all the personnel down here that are fully staffed and trained. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Maniaci.
What is total staffing?
Hold on,
Oh, excuse me.
Mr. Walker, let him.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm curious to know if there is an ordinance or statute or protocol on gated communities. Do they have to have more than one exit?
That would be, we'd have to get with Sherry on the specifics of that with fire prevention. The codes and violations like that are separate from the people that respond to the fire calls and medical calls. That would be directly to Sherry with fire prevention. We can ask her to refer it and see if she could come by next month and give you the information.
Would you do that, please? And have it for the next meeting?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Maniaci.
What is full staffing? What are the numbers?
Full staffing is 10 personnel down here. We have 6 personnel. 4 of them will be on Truck 76, and 2 will be on Rescue 76, and then we have 4 more at Station 85.
Any further questions from the board?
Madam
Ms.
Chair.
Oaks?
So basically, just looking at the numbers here, while it says it's down, technically, the calls for service are up. Because with the decrease in tourism, this is over the year per annum. Basically, the calls are up, not down, even though, because this doesn't take into account the fact that there were 2 months with virtually no tourism at all, 2.5 months, correct?
That would be my opinion the same.
It's the same way with my businesses. It's, you have to account for that.
Right. And it shows with the Engine 85 responds to more residential calls.
Correct.
And that right there kind of gives you, of calls for them has increased a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, number 4, receive a report from Greg Turner with Clark County Water Reclamation District regarding the status of wastewater system. I understand that there is nobody here representing that, so we'll move to number 5. Receive a report from Jason Bailey with the Big Bend Water District regarding the status of the water system for discussion only. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jason Bailey with the Big Bend Water District. With the report for the month of October, the total water diversions were 316 acre feet, slightly up from last year's October numbers. And year-to-date 2020, our total diversions are 3,043 acre feet, down slightly from last year's year-to-date numbers of 3,121. So we're taking into account again March and April and even parts of May where those diversions were down quite a bit. I think we're trending and tracking pretty on point with last year. There's no major leaks or issues to report at this time. That's my report. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Stokes?
One of the things that was brought up, and if you wanted to take that back to your people, when we had the ribbon cutting ceremony at the Laughlin Market, it was brought up for some of the utilities to have a drop box there. So that people could make payments or a
Payments there.
kiosk.
Okay.
The owner there is very open to that. So that's something that, if you would maybe talk with your
Sure.
people. I know you have the box here still, but if, you consider doing one or a payment kiosk at the Laughlin Market, they are open to that.
Okay, thank you. I'll make sure I talk with my staff and see what they think. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving right along, number 6 under informational items, receive a report from the University of Nevada Cooperative Extension regarding the status of programs and upcoming activities for discussion only. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Haley Mayo, MAIO, Extension Educator for Cooperative Extension through UNR. The past couple months, Will Douglas, our community-based instructor, has been meeting with his 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade 4-H members at the library where they're able to social distance and get that interaction with each other. And they just completed a rocketry project, which I heard they had a lot of fun doing. I have been working with the master gardeners. I had, I believe, 8 to 10 just complete the first round of extension gardener training through Clark County, the office up in Las Vegas. And right now I am finishing up a community needs survey, so I'm better able to gauge what the community, being board members, stakeholders, and community members in general, what they feel like they would like to see from extension for programming needs. So that should be coming out within the next week. So if everybody wants to keep an eye out for it and fill it out, and I would really appreciate it. And I just look forward to hearing back from everyone so I can better serve everyone in Laughlin.
Nice, thank you. Any questions from the board? Seeing none. No, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Number 7 under informational items is receive a report from Jackie Mazzeo with the Laughlin Chamber of Commerce regarding current and upcoming business activities in Laughlin for discussion only.
Good afternoon, Board. City staff, how did I say city? Town staff. It's a pleasure to be here and see you guys all in person. Updates for the Laughlin Chamber of Commerce are a thank you, first of all, to County for working with me on the paving project. It's so exciting to be involved and see how we're going to improve the parking turnaround and spaces and designations for that area. The Colorado River Region Guide has been delivered, and we are reproducing another 12,500 to be distributed along the western United States from Canada all the way down to New Mexico. And you will see those being going out. We'll talk to you about the grants at the end that we received. The chamber would still like to encourage the board to talk to Commissioner Naft and staff about the inclusion of marriage license clerks so that we can continue to host marriages in this area. I know that that thing works, but I don't want to let it go. I'm going to be a hound until it happens. I've been voted into the Mojave County Airport Authority general membership and look forward to serving that board and that membership on future endeavors for IFP. Going on to the Laughlin Chamber Water Flow Committee, recently we were awarded 3 full units of flow for an odd period of the day, and that's because yesterday we hosted a segment through Outdoor Nevada, PBS, and we had 4 hours of 3-unit flow early in the month that we weren't supposed to, so that we could shoot a fishing segment along with launching of beautiful vessels and some characters from our area who make fishing poles and do fishing regularly. That will be highlighted in January on PBS.
In Outdoor Nevada.
Outdoor Nevada through PBS, yeah. Community Achievement Awards went off without a hitch. We were able to use the portico share of the Laughlin Ranch Golf Club to escort in the 4 final nominees in each category. We experienced some intimacy that we normally have never been able to have before by being able to talk to and share our feelings about each one of the 4 candidates in the final categories. And it was very enlightening to have them talk a little bit about what they do. And that way the people who were streaming in didn't have to just believe what the judges were saying. They got to actually hear from the nominees and hear what they were doing to be deserving of that final 4. So it was a great day. We had great weather. And I think everybody was very happy with the event. The staff and the volunteers had a very long day because we started at 9:30 in the morning and didn't complete until 6 o'clock at night when we cleaned up everything. But no more than 25 people were allowed in the room at one time. Professional portraits were still taken, and it was live streamed on the B. And it was very rewarding for all of us who hadn't had an event for a while. The Freedom of Expression event that raises money for children's art programs in the schools has been canceled. It's too tight of an area to hold the amount of people we need to make our efforts worth the amount of money that we would make for the programs. We're hoping to raise that money in another way so that they still have a way to express themselves in the arts. The Christmas Jingle Mingle Christmas celebration that's normally at the Aquarius, and we host up to 400 people at that event, has been canceled. We had some ideas on how to do it, but serving food, even if it's controlled in that kind of environment, is something that we don't want to participate in. So we're going to cancel it for this year. Ribbon cuttings, we still continue to schedule and perform grand openings, reopenings, and anniversary celebrations for our members, but we have a limited attendance of 25 people at that actual ribbon cutting event before the stores opened or the services are provided for that location. Our networking and education mixers are going to come back really soon. We have a great lineup of speakers, educators, and people who want to share their new and inventive products and services in the COVID era. Those are going to be coming to you virtually through Zoom. You'll be able to sign up, and you'll also be able to do some networking at the last 15 minutes of each one of those events. So if you have a new service or product you want to share, you can do it at that time. The Volunteers in Partnership each year in January give away $10,000 in grant donations to local 501c3s in the tri-state area with all the money that's been donated to them or money that they've earned parking cars or helping with the traffic and that kind of stuff. Well, they've been limited this year in a lot of things that they would normally be doing. So their donations this year will be limited, will be reduced from 10,000 to 4,000, but the event to issue those checks to those 501c3s will still be held in January with limited attendance. Membership for the third quarter so far, total members are up to 284 from 279 in my last report. The percent of Laughlin members is 29%. That's up 2 percentage points. New members in this quarter, 4 and 2 Laughlin members for Mr. Maniaci in this quarter so far. The tourism grants I was talking to you about are a partnership between me and the Laughlin Tourism Commission and the LVCVA, Las Vegas Convention Visitors Convention Authority. We put in for 3 grants. We were allowed 5. We were granted over $70,000 in free monies to call to action an immediate desire to travel to the outdoors in Nevada. And so we put together 3 grants that were approved. One of them wasn't at full amount, but the other 2 were. We will be putting billboards up along I-10, I-15 corridor through Southern California, the metropolitan areas of Phoenix, Scottsdale, Mesa, and through Southern Nevada on mainly the 15 there. To encourage, those billboards will encourage outdoor activities, recreation, dining, and the ability to have sanitized accommodations when you get here. It's all in one. You have to use the words, Laughlin is open and welcomes you safely. That is the mantra we're using along all billboards and the other grants that we're using. As I spoke before, the distribution of the guides, we're printing another 12,500, and it goes through Washington, Oregon, California, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico. And those will go from as far north as the ferry programs, which will greet over a 5-month period, 24 million people ride those ferries, and they'll have the ability while they're on the ferries to read our Laughlin guide. In that guide program, where the grant requires that we put in a page for Laughlin tourism events and that we include a visitor's guide page for them to understand where you have to go to understand everything about visiting Laughlin and this most southern tip of Nevada. The last one is a website redesign, where we were able to take the antiquated Laughlin Chamber website, bring it up to the new era, include Laughlin Tourism Commission and the Visitor Center, all in the same website with if you want to go to prescott.org, they have a beautiful website where on the first page you get short clip videos of everything you can do in Prescott. So for here, it would be water, off-roading, picnicking, entertainment. It would have all of those things, including good schools for relocation, a good government, all those things that we do here, especially the natural parts of having outdoor activities with your children, will all be highlighted on that front page. And you'll see what I'm talking about when you go to prescott.org. It's a beautiful, beautiful presentation. And we are redoing that to match us. The production of that film will be coming up in the next 3 weeks, so we'll be all over the place trying to get these clips done, besides what we're going to be editing out of the LVCVA's B-roll and footage that they already have about some things. We don't want to have to spend the money twice. Once that's all done, it will all of these grants have to be in place and active by December 28th, and we get reimbursed 100% of the funds that we spent by January 29th. So it's exciting project. We're very grateful that we've been honored with those grants, and we look forward to it making a difference in relocation, investment in new business, and also in tourism. I'll entertain any questions. Oh, by the way, we were very successful in doing a trunk or treat. We went by all the Southern Nevada Health District laws. We put arrows on the ground. We made everybody wear a mask. We hosted 562 guests in a 3-hour period in the parking lot. And it was a very successful event. We had a lot of very happy children. So now I'll entertain some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Walker. Sorry.
Jackie, since you mentioned signs, and this isn't necessarily in your department, but I noticed coming out of Las Vegas, returning to Laughlin,
Mhm.
on I-11, there's no indication to exit to Laughlin. It's got searchlight up there, but there's no indication of a Laughlin exit. And NDOT should be confronted with that omission, and it needs to be corrected.
I have another conversation going on with NDOT at the time, and I can bring that to their attention. It is the desire of a lot of us to change 68 and 163 to be named the Colorado River Highway, because that's directly where it lands. So I'm working with both of them and an individual on the Arizona side to see if we can have those highways not number changed, because that's impossible, but have them be given a name of the Colorado River Highway, because that's the destination people are looking for. So I'll mention it in the same one.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you. Mr. Maniaci.
Yes, thank you for the Laughlin percentage, or the Laughlin numbers,
You're welcome.
and I hope you will continue that. And I was wondering, on those grants, does that include an administrative percentage?
For us,
Yes.
no.
Okay.
No, and these are coming from the state of Nevada, not the county. This is Nevada Commission on Tourism, or NCOT, and that is the Travel Nevada. If you've ever looked at Travel Nevada's magazines or their website, they are all about providing funds to those who are working really hard to increase tourism. As opposed to Laughlin Tourism Commission, they're all about putting heads in beds. These people are actually trying to drive them here to increase that percentage.
Okay, and I do have a question. What was the mantra again? Laughlin is open and?
Laughlin is open and welcomes you safely.
Okay, any
Please
further
repeat the
questions?
second part of that.
Laughlin is open and welcomes you safely. Any of these grants that were brought came from the Nevada Commission of Tourism had to include a open and safe statement, message. So all across every single one of the guides, we had to reprint them with that message that was very welcoming, telling them that we are doing the best we can and they're welcome to visit. There are just different restrictions now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so number 8 under informational items is receive a report from Jackie Mazzeo with the Laughlin Tourism Commission regarding current upcoming events and activities. Hi.
Hi. So Laughlin Tourism Commission, wait, let me turn my hat. Rockets Over the River will be held. Right now, we have not got any received any opposition from state or county officials. This will be outdoors, of course, the private property along the Riverwalk, wherein we were halted before because the Gaming Control Board wasn't confident that the private properties could control the way that people stood along the Riverwalk when they were just getting used to controlling people and helping them on the casino floor was quite apparent. That was going to be really hard and a tough sell or challenge for them. Now that they've got that under control, we are opening it up to fireworks on Christmas night at 7 p.m. so that when your belly's full, you can get in your car and take a little drive. You don't have to get out of your car. You can see these fireworks anywhere in the valley within about 7 to 10 miles. So I think it'd be a nice outing for people on Christmas night. It'll be the same type of show we've had before, approximately 18 to 21 minutes long. And it will be choreographed to music that will go over a local radio station. More of that information to come. It will also be New Year's Eve night. At midnight, we will have fireworks, and that will take up the fireworks that we have in storage from the East Coast that we didn't get to use on the June 27th and July 4th holiday this summer. Best in the Desert, Jagged X National Cup, the $18,000 prize money one that we're always really excited for. The off-road races for motorcycles, quads, and UTVs were sent to Glen Helen because we couldn't get permission from Clark County or BLM to utilize the site that we had. So they went to Glen Helen, but are returning back this year. So this year in 2021, they will be here in March and October. Spartan Games was canceled for this year for November of 2020, but we just reached an agreement for them to come back in November of 2021. But instead of Spartan Games, they have purchased all of the rights to Tough Mudder. And if you've ever watched Tough Mudder online, you'll understand why it's so popular. They have Tough Mudder and Toughest Mudder. The first weekend is all about a regular course of 5 miles. The second weekend, it's 2 weekends in a row, so we can keep some of the international travelers here because this is really big in the UK. The second one is, in order to finish the Toughest Mudder, you have to do 5-mile course 5 times in 24 hours. The deepest obstacle is 6 feet down underground or in water, and the highest obstacle is 30 feet in the air. It's pretty grueling, and it's for crazy people. So, but it will be here, and I think we'll get a lot of occupancy out of that and some other residual revenue from food and beverage and other activities such as tours, grocery, Walmart, fishing licenses, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about that one. So far, the Run Laughlin 5K, 10K, and half marathon are on. Everything, of course, has been changed and submitted to the CCRO enforcement website, and they are contacting us and letting us know when something isn't quite what they expected it to be, or their interpretation is different than ours. But we are going to have that, and that is on December 5th, on a Saturday, all day. Snore, Mackenzie's Rage at the River. That's the last one that we'll have this year. Snore is going to, I went and watched the way that they did Snore Prim, at Battle at Prim, and they did a very, very good job, but I did have some critiques that I needed them to change and that I reported to Department of Business Industries, and that was more signage, more enforcement, and more fines. When you are in a race and you don't obey the rules, your car that you work with gets fined, penalized by money or by time lost on the course. So we're being very strict about it, but they are coming back. The Kane Brown and Pitbull concert that you expected this year have been moved to next year, along with an outstanding list of concerts. We don't know how those are going to be held, but we do have some commitments from some very powerful people to come out and either do drive-in or limited seating with reduced expenses, of course, by the actor. So those are coming, and it's for LEC and the E-Center. I already went over the tourism grants that we're sharing in, and I'll entertain any questions.
Busy.
I know.
Questions? No.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
I need a bed in my office.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Number 9 is receive a report from Parks and Recreation regarding the status of programs and upcoming activities. There's nobody here from that division. Number 10, receive a report from the Laughlin school system regarding the status of programs and upcoming activities for discussion only. Anybody here? No. Number 11, receive a report from Tanya Brown-Worth with Laughlin Library regarding current and upcoming activities. Nobody here. Moving right along to number 12, receive a report from James Maniaci regarding Clark County Comprehensive Planning Department's Advisory Committee on the updating of the County Master Plan and Title 30 Development Code for discussion only.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are 8 phases listed overall. Phase 1, the initiation and orientation, and Phase 2, state of the county, are finished. Phase 3, visions and goals, will conclude November the 30th. Phase 4 is the preliminary policy directions and development code assessment that began October 1st and will end March 31st. Phase 5 draft the master plan that will begin in January. Well, I have 1st, but it's actually probably January 2nd, since the 1st is a holiday, and will end June 30th. Phase 6 is adopt the master plan. Will begin August the 1st, 2021, and will end October 31st, 2021. The public hearings will be held August, September, and October of 2021, and it will take a while to implement those changes. Phase 7 is draft the Title 30 Development Code. That will begin January the 1st of 2021 and will end July 31st, 2022. So that's 18 months. Phase 8 is adopt Title 30, the Development Code. That will begin August the 1st, 2022 and will end December 31st, 2022. Public hearings will be in October and November. And again, it will take a while to implement that. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions from the board? This is open for discussion here.
Is there some work product that has come out of the meetings?
Yes, to read that, you have to go to Transform Clark County, I think it's .org. And the main report is like 260 pages.
So you don't have anything specifically that pertains to Laughlin to update us on any changes?
Yeah, I might add that they have split the advisory committee focuses into the rural areas and the urban areas, and all of those are open to everybody. And I would urge you, everybody that's interested to really go to Transform Clark County, is it .com or .org? I don't remember. To file, a lot of it is very, very technical. A lot of the gathering of the public comments has got everything in there, great detail. Most of the focus is, of course, on the urban areas because they've got hundreds of times more residents in the rural areas. And the main focus of the rural areas, and this has been acknowledged by both the consultant and the comprehensive planning department, is that every community is unique. When they do the master plan, there will be 11 area plans under that. Yet you still need to have the over umbrella for everybody of the one size fits all, but with the distinctions being recognized in the area plans.
Okay. Can I ask, Jim, you're on this committee?
Yes.
Okay, and when does your time expire on this?
As I understand it, when the appointment was to go through the whole thing.
Okay, and then also you had referenced a website or any additional information. Can you get that to Tammy so that we
Right.
have it for everyone? Any further questions? Okay, thank you. Moving along under informational items, number 13, announcements of upcoming neighborhood meetings and county or community meetings and events. Does anybody have anything to report on the board?
Madam Chair, I have one real quick before the board does. I just want to let everybody know, it was brought up a little earlier. The county has agreed with much of our office, or actually Tammy, to have a part-time person come back into this office, which will begin Monday this coming week, the 16th. That person will be performing general office duties as well as marriage licenses.
Oh,
He will still need to go to Vegas for a couple of weeks to be trained. That has not been scheduled as of yet, but we will let everybody know. We're hoping sometime, hopefully by the end of this month, that will be back into place in terms of full swing for marriage licenses. So that's my one announcement.
Great, okay.
If you just train them to do plan review, we're good. And issue permits, we're awesome. We'll work on that.
Okay, any further discussion on this?
I have a
Go ahead.
local meeting announcement, but not pertaining to that. But okay.
Okay, do you want to do it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so this is a immediate release. Las Vegas Metro Police Department asked for community feedback in a new public opinion survey. So this came out today, and the Las Vegas Metro Police Department rolled out a community feedback survey today to collect feedback from the public regarding the department's community engagement and its overall performance. The survey will be taken in English, Chinese, and Spanish and will measure police officer and civilian employee performance as well as public satisfactory with the agency. It also surveys citizen awareness of the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, community programs, and services. The LVMPD is committed to providing quality service to its residents and visitors. The results will be used to better inform the department about public perception. The survey will be taken by clicking on a direct link and will also be available on www.lvmpd.com, and it can also be shared from Las Vegas Metro Police Department's Facebook page. This is a press release, and there are additional flyers in the back. So I think some of the impetus behind this, might be the, incentive, or not incentive, but the defunding of police that we've seen in many democratic cities. And a lot of our administration in the county and the states, also are, Democrat Party controlled. So I think that was one of the things that they're looking for, this feedback. And I think it'd be important for Laughlin to definitely chime in on our relationship with Metro, because I would say it probably varies quite a bit out of what you see in the urban areas.
Thank you, Kathy. As a matter of fact, I took that survey earlier, and it's very easy, and it's mainly closed-in questions. There's a few opened-in, but it only takes a few minutes. And I think it's important for all of us, if we can, to try that and to go and take that survey.
It's an opportunity for Laughlin to be heard, and we don't always get those.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
there's a similar survey that the Air Quality Management District is doing.
Okay. Do you have any further information on that? Okay. Anyway, number 14, announcement of application or applicant sought for the Town Advisory Board for discussion only, and I'm supposed to read this. And it reads, Clark County is currently accepting applications from residents of unincorporated towns who are interested in serving on their local advisory board for the next 2 years. Applications are due by 5 p.m. on November 12th and are available through the county website at www.clarkcountynv.gov and through the Administrative Services Department, which can be reached at area code 702-455-3530 or by email at administrativeservices@clarkcountynv.gov. Town Advisory Board and CAC secretaries will also have applications available. And so that's what I've read.
And I just want to make a note, obviously, we just had the election, and we had in Laughlin plenty of people, but like in Searchlight, they've only had one person on the ballot. This is in the event that somebody needs to resign from the board, and then we have, at least a pool of applicants that would be willing to step in that position in the event that that were to happen. So this is the only reason why we have that on there, really, is to make sure that we have enough people for a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Mr. Walker? No? Okay. Now, item number 6 is planning and zoning. We have none, so we're moving along to number 7, general business. And the first one is to review and finalize fiscal year 2022 budget requests and take public comment on the budget request for possible action. So we all have these little capital budget request forms. Mr. Walker, this one? If we can fill them out real quick, and remember, it's from 1 to 10, 10 meaning the highest. And we had all voted on there. The first one was the RGC control room digital upgrade. The next one was the RGC meeting room furniture chair replacement. Third one was chamber visitor center parking lot repaving. Fourth was Romtech building air conditioning at Pyramid Park. And the fifth was Heritage Trails host site. So if we can all take a minute and go ahead and put our tallies down, we'll go ahead and give these to Mr. Montiachi, who will tabulate them and then forward them to you, Mr. Robledo. He's going to be our numbers guy here. Thank you. What did he tell? He didn't tally that one.
I'm sorry, I thought.
No, he's gonna tabulate them and give the information, and then they can disclose it. Aren't we supposed to assign, 10 million, 8, whatever? That one has 2 10s on it.
Oh,
The last one that you did.
they're all running around.
Mr. Walker? Are you all?
I can't move that far.
Okay, so what we're supposed to do is prioritize them, 10 meaning the best, then 9, 8, 7. So you'd have, if you voted for 10, the highest one would be only under one line item. You've got a couple of them for 10. So you've got to redo
Okay,
this.
take the second 10 and move it to a 9.
Okay, take your time. Let's not rush this. Why didn't you write Herms on here? Well, can you fix it so that he can understand what you're doing? If it's, here's William Walker's info, get his calculated up. No, it's not yours. Scratch that off. Yeah. And so this is for possible action. So once you give them all, yeah, it's fine. Give them to Mark and then he'll. Yes, we do. Might as well get it out of the way. This has been hanging around for about a year now.
How old is the
Did you
puppy
add
now?
everything up, Jim?
Kathy,
Huh?
how old is the puppy?
10 weeks.
10 weeks.
Just haven't had their shots.
When did they wean?
Okay, so are you gonna go back and
But they
do it in a spreadsheet, or are you just gonna announce it?
She'll still nurses them.
Oh, you want me to do
You
it?
got them all sold?
I thought you did.
I'm keeping them.
Oh, are you? Yeah.
There's only 3, so.
Yeah.
And then the one white one is going to my pet center.
All right, so we have the results here, and out of all of us, the 4 of us here, the first one is at the highest amount of 40 is the Regional Government Center Control Room digital upgrade. Second place was the Regional Government City Meeting Room furniture chair replacement. Third spot was Romtech Building air conditioning at Pyramid Park. Oh, okay. So the first one was 40 for the control room digital upgrade, 37 for the meeting room furniture and chair replacement, 22 for the Romtech Building air conditioning at Pyramid Park. Then we had 18 for Heritage Trails host site, and then the last one was at 17 votes at Chamber Visitor Center parking lot repaving. So this is an action item. It's up for discussion. Do we have any discussion on this?
I think it was just to create a priority.
Yes.
Do we know if all of those things are going to be done, or if it's just allocating based upon that
No,
hierarchy?
this is just your wish list for the upcoming fiscal year.
for allocation
Okay.
based
Right.
on a hierarchy.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're basically going to confirm these and then submit them.
Correct.
Okay. So do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion carries 4-0, and I'm going to hand these over. Jim, can you hand these to Tammy? Thank you. Number 2 under general business is review, discuss, and approve 2021 Laughlin Town Advisory Board meeting dates and take any action deemed appropriate. And this is for possible action. Everybody received the upcoming dates. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Maniaci?
All you have to remember is the second Tuesday of each month and the last Thursday.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
They pretty much make themselves, unless there's a holiday.
Right. That's what I see here too. Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion. We adopt the 2021 meeting dates as printed.
Okay,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0 that we will adopt the meeting dates for the 2021 meeting dates. Okay. Number 3, under general business, is discuss the cancellation of the 2021 Laughlin Citizen of the Year due to COVID, to the current COVID-19 concerns for possible action. We heard from Jackie Mazzeo at the beginning of the meeting. Any discussion here on the board?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I could just get input from county staff. I mean, what is our normal procedure? I've never sat on the committee because I've been on the board, but what is our normal procedure for that?
For the committee or for the town?
Well, I know that we issued the proclamation here, but the interview process and stuff that's behind it for the selection of the individual, that I'm ignorant of.
We always request 2 people from each of the board members. And we meet here on a specific date for them to see the applications and to provide us their input and their vote for the Citizen of the Year. So it's done in here. My concern this year is we're not getting the support from Clark County, so there will be no money for a plaque.
Yeah, there will be no money for the actual plaque itself.
Okay, so
So
the
for
impetus
for this
behind
this
canceling
specific
it,
this specific year, the county is not going to commit anything.
so the
So it's
county's
not
not
in the
doing
budget,
it
yeah.
countywide?
No,
See,
This has never been countywide.
this has never been
This is for
countywide. It's just
Laughlin
been specific Laughlin.
I see, I see.
Okay, so we're asked, and this is an action item, so basically what's on the table here is if we're gonna have this or not.
Right.
Right, do we want to have it, and if so, I mean, what is it we're looking at funding? What does the
Plaque cost.
plaque, and I think it's more than the plaque, I think you also have some staffing hours that are involved with that as well.
Well, the plaque itself, the little statue that is given, the last 2 years it runs around $160 to $170. Clark County is not going to support us on that this year.
Okay, so I think it's up to us, if that was the impetus for canceling it, do we want to fund it in a different way? And continue and have it for this year? I think that's up to us. I mean, it's an investment from staff and staff time as well. The proclamation is usually issued in February?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Walker.
speculating that the virus is still going to be around next year, I would make a motion to table this until the February meeting of 2021.
It's up to us when we issue it. Yeah.
Okay, I actually was thinking a little bit about that because the way that it reads, though, it reads, discuss the cancellation of the 2021 Laughlin Citizen of the Year due to current COVID-19 concerns, but we're saying that it's a monetary issue as well. I tend to agree with Mr. Walker. I think that I'd like to table this or make a motion
Or
to
to-
table
Yeah.
till February.
So to put it back on the agenda. in
Yes.
February.
So make
I
the
think
motion,
so.
make the motion to table it until February
Yes.
of
I'll
next year.
second Mr. Walker's motion.
Okay, so
First and second.
first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries to table this item till
Back on the
February.
agenda.
Thank you. Okay, now Mark, I was supposed to read this.
That's okay. You've already acted on it, so.
Okay, sorry. All righty, moving on to number 8. This is comments by the general public, a period devoted to comments by the general public about matters relevant to the board jurisdiction will be held. No vote may be taken on a matter not listed on the posted agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium and clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority vote. Ooh. Do we have anybody? Thank you.
If please the board, I would just like to remind everyone that tomorrow is Veterans Day, and at 11 o'clock tomorrow, due to COVID again, at the post, we will still be doing a Veterans Day ceremony live on Facebook. So I just want to remind everyone and that you're invited to attend in that manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Walker.
not as a member of the public, but in previous minutes, we have indicated that Mr. Smith's absence was either excused or not excused, and there's no reference in this as to whether he's got an excused absence or an unexcused absence.
Well, I would have to ask staff.
Reference to what? I'm not clear.
Mr. Smith's excused or unexcused absences.
So on the November minutes, is that what you're referring to?
We're just asking for clarification, so I think the
I
insert
always
would
have
be
put
when the
unexcused.
Pardon?
I've always have put unexcused.
unexcused, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I just didn't see it in,
The minutes for last month. Yeah,
Well,
because it
because
has
there wasn't a meeting.
call to
Yeah,
order, I'm sorry,
okay.
September.
Right. Okay, any further general public comments? No. Moving on to number 9. Our next meeting date will be December 8th, 2020. And moving on to number 10 is adjournment.
So moved.
Do we have, okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the meeting adjourns, and the next one will be, well, we already said. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. We have adjourned.